time for the Community Awareness Program on Glory 1260 WNOO. This program is designed to inform the community on issues that impact our day-to-day existence.
Glory 1260 WNOO, Community Awareness for Tuesday, August 21st. Good Tuesday afternoon to you, just after 2 o'clock. And in studio with this first portion of today's program, we have special guests from Mark Making. We have the Executive Director, Francis McDonald, as well as Communications Assistant, Zach Ashley. Good afternoon to both of y'all.
Hey, Sam, thanks for having us here.
Good afternoon. Thanks for having us.
Well, thank you for being here. I hope all is well with you all this afternoon. Let's get right into it. For those of us who might not know what Mark Making is, tell us about this organization.
All right. Well, I think I'll take it. Mark Making is a local nonprofit. We serve the community through visual art making that empowers individuals, focuses on the underserved, and transforms communities. So we believe creativity is innate in each of us. And our job is to create an environment where that can flourish, be nurtured, and therefore it's empowering. And better yet, let's have it serve the community. Let's put it in a big public space and brighten everyone's day.
So art isn't just a matter of creativity or something looking pretty, but it can empower, encourage, uplift, and the list just goes on and on.
That's right.
Well, and to be more precise about that, our target groups, the people that we really like to work with, they're children, teens, and underserved adults, people with mental disorders, people who are homeless. So those are the people precisely who don't have as much power, but they are citizens just like the rest of us, and this is a way to give them an impact on what the rest of us look at. So it's kind of a way of also creating mini citizenships for those who might not drive, for those who might not vote, for people who are usually not involved in our day-to-day life.
Is that one of the reasons for founding Mark Making?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I come from a background of giving back, a background of volunteering, an art background, and a business background. So I used to be a painter, and I painted pictures, and I just got real frustrated with that because you paint a picture and the picture hangs on a wall and maybe the person likes it. I mean, I assume they like it. But still, it kind of stopped there, and I really felt the need to do something that had a greater impact for more people and something that would better my community. And so I kind of combined what I knew, and then I had some opportunistic moments to try this out. And we did a project on the Central Block building. This was in 98, 99, and we worked with 150 kids from Parks and Recs, and the kids did this, and that was one thing. We got the job done because we had a lot of free help.
Okay.
But what happened was later we saw the kids coming back, and they'd get out in front, and they'd be, look at me, and I'm great, and I own this, and you could really see what a difference it made to these kids to own something and to be part of a bigger fabric. So that just got me. And it became like a calling, this is something I know how to do, this is something I can put together, and this is what I'm going to do, because this is what's right for me, and it's what's right for the community.
Well, yeah, I love how you pointed out, because, a lot of times we hear all the negativity and negative things about young folks and, not having anything to do. I love how you pointed out how after they were involved in the project that they came back wanting to do more. I think it's a nurturing thing as well.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely, Sam.
Well, Mark Making, I think about MLK and see, murals and, portraits on sides of buildings and stuff. You all responsible for that?
Most of it, for sure, yeah. We just got done. Our last year was spent doing a mural series on Martin Luther King Boulevard. We got State of Tennessee funding and Community Foundation funding. And our last piece is on the side of the Live and Let Live barbershop at Palmetto and ML King on Virgil McGee's barbershop. And it's a mural showcasing 13 musicians that used to perform on the Big Nine. And
well, I love how that's pointed out as well, Big Nine legends, because it's kind of a tie or bridge, if you will, the past and the present and the future, because we're talking about, a lot of young folks being involved. Some of those, as you pointed out, that are kind of overlooked or maybe have handicaps or whatever, this inclusiveness, if you will. Is that part of the vision? Is that part of what?
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, every single piece is very site-specific. So in this case, we wanted to talk about the history of the boulevard, the history of the Big Nine, and we wanted to include the partners, the nonprofits that are in the neighborhood. In this case, it was the Partnership of the Families, Children, and Adults. And so we worked with their teens, and their teens have certain skill sets and certain interests. So it's our job to kind of merge the site, the skill sets of the participants, the interests of the partners, and the interests of the neighborhood. And Zach, can you rattle off those numbers for us? And I did want to stop and say too, we did 5 murals and we did a paste up series. We did a lot of work down there. But
Now, what is a paste up series for those who don't know? What's paste up?
paste ups are, in the old-fashioned way, this is how they used to put up billboards.
Okay.
Like you put paste and you put the paper up.
Okay.
It's also, nowadays people use it like a graffiti term. It's that piece of graffiti work that you paste onto a wall. And we did a series of portraits with neighborhood residents. We sat down and interviewed them, took pictures, got quotes from them, and then we worked with those portraits in black and white, the photos, and tweaked them and played with them, inserted the quotes, and then printed out these paste ups in different sizes. So those kind of come and go on the boulevard, and that's more temporary pieces, and it also serves to animate spaces between bigger murals.
Okay.
So Zach, what were the numbers down there?
We did 5 murals, and we engaged about 150 disadvantaged adults or students, which was super exciting.
Wow, 150. Yeah.
Absolutely. And the greatest thing, the most fun thing, I guess, was at the end we did a survey at the Bessie Smith Strut. There was so much energy around the Strut this year, and it was a real success this year. But we surveyed to see if people thought that our work was contributing to the revitalization of Martin King Boulevard, and overwhelmingly people loved it.
For me, and it really made me very excited that we were coming in. That was, the documentary is an art form. We're coming in with a different art form. We're working with different students, and just kind of further that whole mission of what can art be in your life, and what can art do in that sort of school situation to connect it to the city and do something that's great for everybody. So we're just super, super excited about this.
Wow. You mentioned, about the projects coming up with Howard and having mentors and mentees. One would wonder or want to ask, when we think about mentors, is it just from the art component, the art perspective, or will these be mentors in general? When we think about our young folks, there's a need for mentors, period.
Absolutely.
And so has thought gone into that process as well as what the
Oh
mentors
yeah,
will be?
we certainly hope so. You don't make art in a vacuum. You're always making art from a position. If you're making good art, you're always coming from a place of honesty and integrity. And that's something. I don't know if it's going to be verbalized on, but I certainly hope it's osmosis. It's something that a good artist brings to the table.
Okay. And you talk about, mark making and being involved in young folks and being involved in folks who might be disenfranchised. And here you are, the next project coming up with Howard. And maybe I'm asking, too far ahead. We might not be able to answer, but if you can, are we looking at elementary school level children? Are we looking at middle school age children as well? Has all this been thought of?
Go ahead,
Yes,
Pat.
we're constantly thinking of it. We've got more funding for Martin Luther King Boulevard. And, we're going to try to work with as many young people as we can. We're looking at East Chattanooga, writing a grant right now, trying to get some programming for mark making out there. And we've worked with Girls Inc. in the past in East Chattanooga and Hardy Elementary. And artwork by elementary school age children is just some of the most impressive.
Well, and like down on the boulevard, we had 70 kids who were involved. These are elementary school kids who painted the railroad overpass. And
that trestle.
yeah, there were 70
yeah.
kids, and they were from Girls Leadership Academy and Brown International Academy. And the phenomenal thing was that everybody says, well, we don't know, we're not sure if we want elementary students doing art that everybody's going to see. The tourists are going to see, blah, blah, blah. There's always a little hesitation there. And we were having issues, of course, with the railroad to get permission to do this. So the Neighborhood Association collected 200 signatures asking just that these elementary school children be engaged in this piece of art. So it was phenomenal as far as
Wow.
the ability to have ammunition for the railroad. But what was cooler was all these neighborhood people who wanted elementary children beautifying their neighborhood. I mean, to me, that means a lot.
I agree.
Let me add to that too. I was talking with one of my neighbors who's a English professor at a university in Tennessee, and she asked me to send her a picture of the overpass, the finished piece. For the word, she said those words can motivate my students. And these words were chosen by
Awesome.
the
I didn't know
elementary
that.
school students. Yes, I haven't said
Hey,
it's the first time I've
Zach,
said
can
it.
you tell them how those words, how they
We
chose
did.
those words?
This is how we chose them. We had classes with the students, and we had them write vision statements for themselves and for the neighborhood. How can you better your neighborhood? And it wasn't just this theoretical, how can you do it? It's literally, would you go pick up a piece of trash? Who do you need to talk to get a recycling program going in your neighborhood?
So it was what needs to happen to make your neighborhood a better place, and what can you do personally to forward that agenda?
And the words that appeared most in those vision statements are now on the overpass trestle.
So it's
So
like
that's where those words came from.
invest, create, plant.
Gotcha. And this is coming from the young folk themselves,
Exactly.
With answering the question, what can we do to improve the neighborhood? What does it take? Wow. And that answers my question about are we dealing with elementary age students, middle school? I mean, it looks like you're looking at everybody. You're covering everybody.
Well, it's children, teens, and adults who have disadvantages such as homelessness or
And when I say
mental
everybody,
disorders.
that's what I mean. Of course,
Right.
those who are well-to-do. Nothing against you, but
Well, they don't need the power. They've got it.
Exactly. You mentioned before about receiving grants for mark making. Obviously, this is a nonprofit organization. Do you have enough grants? Is there any need for donations?
No, we need your
Is there
donations.
needs for volunteers? Are there needs for mark making at all?
Zach, do you want to address that?
Sure. No, we are definitely in need.
Of everything.
The greatest resource, obviously, is someone's time and energy.
Okay.
And especially at the grassroots level, and in our neighborhoods in Chattanooga, and ideas, relationships. So the best way to get hold of us, sites. That's very important.
Yeah, actually, it's one of the hardest things to find is good painting sites. Big walls that are visible from a distance, unobstructed. That's often the hardest thing to do, is to have property owners willing to work with us. Like Virgil McGee over at Live and Let Live. I mean, our relation was live and let live. I mean, that's the way he lives, and that's how we worked with him. He said, I want music in it, and after that, it's up to you guys. So we were able to really do something way out of our norm and very, very creative and very specific to these teens in foster care, because he gave us carte blanche to really figure out how to make this work. So for us, that's a huge gift to be able to say, here's my wall and have at it.
Gotcha.
And I trust you. It's that trust thing is, for us, it's golden. So that's often the hardest thing to find is sites. But yes, we welcome volunteers. We always welcome donations. Zach.
I'll take it.
It rhymes.
Mac, can you mark?
What she's trying to say is markmaking.org. That's where to find us. markmaking.org, and on Facebook. If you search Mark Making, you'll find us. We treat Facebook like our personal little newsletter. We're always updating. You'll see pictures of Francis in the studio later today if you're on the Facebook account.
Oh, I'm such a ham.